Going.
We are live,
Going.
officially going live.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, we're drinking bourbon.
Well,
or are we?
We're eventually going to get to the bourbon. It's right off the bat. OG Brick 420 is in the house. Says congrats on 1,000. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we need to celebrate it.
New subscriber. Yeah, he sent us a couple of messages.
He may have been the one that pushed us over the edge when we appreciate the support.
Yeah, could be. So here's how we're going to do this live stream tonight. We're going to get into some kind of hanging out after we're going to do an actual review first, and then hopefully some people will join in, and then we're going to just try a few different things with these bottles that we have here, and then maybe get into some good stuff.
Yeah. So we tend to go like an hour or so on the live streams, which is cool. It's cool to hang out and, talk with people, and that's just awesome. But we want to do an actual review of these two bottles, and we'll talk about what they are in just a second. And then that way we can break that out as a dedicated video that gets posted if someone's actually looking for these, because, well, we'll talk about them.
Well, and plus the other thing is even if nobody joins the chat, we do get a lot of views of our live streams after they air live. So people do still watch these. So even if nobody joins, we still kind of just treat them the same way. So anyway, let's see. It made us watch a commercial. Yeah, I know, man. That's after you hit 1,000. But just look at it this way. It supports our channel because over the course of the next year, I mean, we could potentially make dozens of dollars.
Dozens of dollars.
Like
we may be able to buy 2 free bottles of bourbon.
Maybe. If we save up for the year.
Yeah, with your time, you watching that commercial, that helps us so much.
Yeah, so appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you. So just now hearing you. Oh, okay. Is it Michael Madigan says congrats on 1K, guys. Thank you. Is our vocals off from, or was it not picking up at first? Let us know in the chat if you can hear us. Oh, missed the intro is what I meant. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Gotcha. Okay, so as long as you can hear us, that's great. So here's what we're going to do. We just had a few more people join in. So let's explain what we've got here before we get into the actual review.
Yes.
So as we're recording this, we're doing this in a live chat, but we are also recording this to post it later as a standalone review. So as we're drinking these, we're not going to pay too much attention to the chat.
Then we'll get to that after the fact.
Yep. So if you're watching this on the after broadcast of just the review of these, here we go. These are non-alcoholic bourbon alternatives.
What the heck is that? I did not know this was a thing until fairly recently. Someone mentioned that there are non-alcoholic versions of alcohol for just people who can't drink for medical reasons, for legal reasons, or for other reasons.
Sure.
And so we thought it'd be fair to give it a try. We're kind of going into holiday season. And I have really strong opinions about these. Part of me really wants to like them.
So you have strong desires to have opinions about them.
And part of me really wants to hate them.
Yeah.
Because, well, we'll get to it. But first off, we're going to try them neat. They're probably not going to be great, but
probably not meant for that.
They aren't. Then we're going to probably mix an old fashioned because that's probably more in their wheelhouse.
And then after the standalone review of these are over, we're actually drink some real bourbon.
Yeah. Then we have a bar to actually call in the.
It had a very bourbon-like cork pop.
It did. That was impressive.
So this is called Monday.
This is called Monday, which is actually I appreciate the name.
I can't wait to do the Benny Walker special blend at the end of this. So I've actually heard of the Monday one. This one is called Spiritless Kentucky 74. I've not heard of this one. And I've heard of the Monday one because I've seen some other reviews of it. So I might have I don't have high expectations.
So I've seen 0 reviews, but I've read a couple of people's quotes about them. And some people, people say mean things on the internet occasionally, and they say this sucks. Other people say it's great. It's a good alternative.
Whoa.
Of course, it's never gonna fully, it can't replace, a good, 100 proof bourbon or whatever. But
the one on the left, that Kentucky Spiritless one, on the nose, it actually kind of smells like a youthful bourbon for real. Like it's got a little corny, a little grainy.
Huh.
This one smells more like spicy, like holiday spices. Almost like a flavored sort of thing.
Well, I guess it is flavored.
It doesn't smell bad.
Doesn't smell bad.
Little iced tea vibe there.
Huh.
These are completely different.
Yeah, totally different. Like I think these are quite different. This one reminds me a lot of a single malt, like maybe a cask or like a finished. Like
I could get that. Maybe it's grainy for
grainy.
Sure.
There we go.
So I don't know what this is actually distilled from. One of these said ingredients: monk fruit extract.
Does anybody know what a monk fruit is?
So
I thought that was a job description.
Well, I don't know how in depth we need to get into nosing these things. I think maybe we just try them, see what happens. This one, the Monday, smells a little more bold. I'm tempted to go with this one first.
Okay.
Almost, because I feel like the spice of this one is maybe a little more.
So
this seems like the weaker.
Okay, let's keep it short.
Yeah.
But tell me your thoughts going into this before you, not about like what you think of it, but.
I have not heard great things about. So I do kind of have a skewed.
Well, not what you expect it to be like. Let me lay out what my thought is. Like, I really like bourbon. I like the flavor of bourbon, you know.
I would hope so, because this is
yeah, it's a channel.
Yeah.
But I also like bourbon has its place. Like, I don't want to wake up in the morning and have a bourbon.
I desperately want to do that.
I don't. Like, it's the end of the day, relaxation, have a pour kind of thing.
Yeah, and sometimes just not appropriate.
Yeah, exactly. But this would be appropriate. Let's assume it's good. Let's assume it's great. It's as good as one of your favorites, or some future version of this. Like, I don't want bourbon available 24 hours a day without the maybe the downsides, because I think that's part of the.
Well, you can just not do it.
Well, I'm going to. But
let's get into it.
So you want to start with Spirit?
Yeah, let's start on the left, because I feel like this one's a little weaker. It doesn't have as much spice, and I don't want the spice of this one.
They both come with little like menus to help make. But we know how to.
Probably don't need to get into that.
Yeah. So all right,
grainy. You could convince me that this is a whiskey.
This
like
is
a very, very low proof
kind of Scotch. Well, I think like wine finish, port finish, probably Scotch.
Kind of, but it also kind of has that youthful corn note to it too. Let's get into it. We're getting too in depth here. Bubblegum. That has a slight bubblegum taste to it.
Come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
And I'm all out of bubblegum. This doesn't taste bad. The problem is it's the lack of alcohol. It's like they're trying to make whiskey flavored Gatorade.
I think that's a compliment that it doesn't deserve. Like, it drinks like water. Like, there is nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a tiny bit of like muted flavors that are.
I don't feel like this could stand up to a cocktail, if that's what it's for.
I don't know if this could stand up to another sip. Like,
really?
Yeah. Like,
what did I just do here?
Like, I didn't want to like this for like philosophical reasons. I just don't like it because it tastes like garbage.
I don't think it tastes like garbage. Like, it's not off-putting, but it's if you took water and just put like drops of whiskey flavoring in it, where it's just like, like when you're drinking a Coke and there's too much ice in it, then all the ice melts, and what you're left with is straight water, non-carbonated, but a little bit of a Coke flavor, and it's terrible. It's like that with whiskey. We will get to the comments in a minute here as soon as we're done.
Yeah, give us a minute.
We've had some more people join the live, so just explain that we're doing a standalone review of this real quick.
I'm not going to have another sip of it because
I think you got to at least do 2 sips.
I did.
You did. Okay.
Second sip was there's a movie reference. Second sip. Second verse, same as the first.
Well, it's Henry VIII. I am.
Yeah.
The movie that's prominent in is Ghost.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. All right, so let's get to this one's more like holiday spice.
Henry VIII?
Yeah, when that's how he sings that to Whoopi Goldberg's character.
Oh.
And then she said that's how he convinced her to date him. Demi Moore did. I'm revealing way too much about how much I love the movie Ghost, apparently. Actually, my wife and I watched that not too long ago.
You're also a fan of Ghostbusters.
I am.
Maybe it's how about Poltergeist? Are you a fan of Poltergeist?
No, these whiskeys have nothing to do with those two movies, though, because these are spiritless. This one's actually called Spiritless. Okay, we're dragging this out way too long.
All right. So
holiday spice, brown sugar a little bit. There are
just getting a weird like raisin.
Reminds me of that Bad Sweater, kind of, without the.
This is raisin. I'm gonna try.
I'm with you on the raisins.
Maybe
or fig or something, or plum.
Oh, fig. Maybe fig.
Yeah, let's do it. This one is definitely, the Monday is definitely more bold than this. This is just water with a little bit of flavor. This is actually leaving a sting a little bit in my mouth. And I don't know what that is, what they put in there to make that happen.
It's like a jalapeno type thing, though.
It's almost like they put a legit spice in there.
Yeah, it's got some sort of like a spice.
Yeah, it's like figs and raisin and
jalapeno, but not really the jalapeno flavor, just the spice. Although it's not turned up to 11, but there's some spice.
I'm not having a visceral reaction to the taste, but there's no reason I would ever drink this.
I kind of hate them.
What is that spice? You're right. It's like an actual spicy, like a pepper spice.
I think it is some sort of capsaicin. Is that what it's called?
Okay, so do we do the blend or we make
So I have a theory. Can I have the Maker's Mark bottle? Because I'm just going to pour a little bit in each glass to see if we can save it. Because I hate them at this point.
This is not actually Maker's Mark. This is simple syrup.
Yeah, so I repurposing the bottle.
We do some old fashions and see if, because these are probably not meant to be drank neat. So should we just make a quick old fashioned, try it?
Well, go ahead if you want. I'm just going to pour a tiny bit of simple syrup in each one just to see if I can save it.
I think you got to give it the full.
Okay, if you want.
Old fashioned.
I made some simple syrup today. I put a little bit of cinnamon, nutmeg, and pumpkin pie spice in with the syrup just to give it a little bit of brown color and a little bit of flavor. So that's how I do simple syrup.
Okay. Promise I will not drag this out, but I am going to measure. How much were these bottles?
Let's say $45 each.
Good Lord.
So we definitely need a whole lot of you to watch
So that's where
the ads before the video to help compensate.
That's especially a big fat hell no. Like, why would I pay? Unless it makes a really good old fashioned and you're somebody who can no longer drink.
Well,
then you might want to pay the money for it. Kind of like, you pay non-alcoholic beer is just as expensive as. Let me just put a little extra simple syrup in this just because I feel like it needs the help.
Because neither of these actually came across as super sweet.
Right.
So I think,
a little bitters here.
I don't do bitters in my old fashions because I do the spices in with the sugar.
So this should be extra spicy then. Is that what you're telling me? Oh, and my mixing spoon is not down here. Let's have to give this oh, Jesus. Give this a whirl here. Try to get that to blend.
All right, so I'm going to go to this one, which I got kind of nothing off of it. A little bit of flavor. Kind of, I don't know. I have low expectations. Wow.
You should try that. That is the purpose of something like this. That actually doesn't taste bad.
So even just with simple syrup, it saved it. It's not great. I still get a weird aftertaste that I don't love. In fact, I kind of really, really don't love. But
pour the other one in there with it. So I need this again. So I will say this. Yeah, I think that if you're a person who doesn't drink anymore for whatever reason, and you used to love an old fashioned, I think you would like this. I don't think this one alone, the Spiritless 74, would work.
No.
But this one, with all that spice that it kind of has.
This one, the Monday with a little bit of simple syrup, and I was probably a ratio of close to 50-50.
God, you could convince me this is an old fashioned.
Yeah, like this one here, that's what this one is. It's acceptable.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely think I hate it on its own.
Oh, yeah, I would never drink it on its own.
Like, I honestly don't think I have any use for the rest of the bottle.
Do you want any more of this?
No.
It's actually pretty good.
I'll finish this one. This one, I don't know what I'm going to do with.
With the ice and the bitters, I mean, yeah, so it's a good alcohol alternative.
Clearly, they're intended to be
for
mixed.
Cocktails, yeah. So I would say, I mean, I don't know what you would do with this one. This one maybe almost definitely smelled a little more like a regular whiskey. Mm-hmm. But the taste, there's just nothing going on there. The Monday makes a pretty good cocktail if you can't drink.
The spice definitely comes through, but obviously with all the extra sugar and water, it's muted. But it actually kind of like works.
Man, I wish this was like $20. I might actually buy a bottle of that just to make these.
I think it's overpriced and it's probably expensive to do whatever they're doing. But
yeah, that's the thing. I did see a bottle of non-alcoholic bourbon alternative, and it was like $40. I was like, well, I'm not gonna probably gonna hate it.
Yeah,
but yeah, not bad. I got to tell you, I'm actually pretty impressed with the old fashioned. I feel like I'm drinking alcohol.
But would you? Well, don't answer that. I was going to ask you, would you wake up first thing in the morning and drink it? You know, all the time. Like,
I don't know which one you're talking about, but yes, yes, I would.
Well, I'll leave that alone.
All right. Well, so for the review section of this video, this has been a couple of non-alcoholic bourbon alternatives. On the Bourbon Note, I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, see you next time. And for everybody else, and for if you're going to stick with us,
the live stream will now continue.
Live stream.
Let's get into some chats here. So one of the reasons,
hello to some people.
So what we've been doing recently, and I hope hopefully you've been talking amongst yourselves here.
Yeah,
man, we got a lot of chats to catch up on.
We kind of have a policy not to pour out alcohol, and it's not alcohol in these glasses. So what do we do? I got to kill it.
Yeah, just shoot it. Jack says, "Cheers, guys! Listening while driving. Thank you." OG Brick 420 says, "Sound is great. I wonder what they add to it to make the alcohol tingle." I think it's got to be some sort of a spice. If it doesn't provide some type of Kentucky hug, I don't think it's going to cut the mustard. No, it definitely does not do that.
You know, but so I actually do like 80 proof bourbons that have absolutely no Kentucky hug, but it does have traditional bourbon notes and flavors. These don't have that.
No, not at all.
So I think there is room for a non-alcoholic, non-high proof type thing. It just, these two didn't hit what I'm looking for.
Old fashioned though. Minnesota Water Wolf says, "The first show I tune into live and it's non-alcoholic review." We will get to actual alcohol.
Like right now.
And he says, seriously, "Ben, I used to know you." All right. Well, let me know. How do you know me? Did we go to school together? Are you from Buffalo or Waseca? I used to live in Waseca when I was younger.
You lived in Waseca?
I did, yeah. Appreciate the content. Congrats on 1,000 subs. R Hayes. Well, thank you very much. I hope they figured out a way of adding unflavored capsaicin or something hot. That's what it comes across as.
It kind of seems like that's what they did.
R. Hayes says, "Monk fruit is a natural sweetener, calorie-free." Sweet.
Is that the fruit that has spikes on it?
Could be. Somebody let us know. San Skizzle is in the house. Ryan Frank, long time no see, gentlemen. Congrats on the 1G. Thank you.
We're done with these, right? We don't need to keep them in frame.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Sir Cuts is back. Welcome.
Sir
Good
Cuts.
to see you in the chat again. Cheers, gents. A few minutes late. Had to run to the store to pick up some BRTs. Nice. Where did you find those? You got one of the BRTs, right?
My wife picked one up. But yeah, if there's other BRTs running around, catch one.
I think OG is asking about asking him about the BRTs, and he sort of figured that would be the case. Whiskey has sitting out in the Glen all night, and the alcohol evaporated. Flavored water. San Skizzle says, "Where did the chew bubblegum and kick-ass come from?" I think it's from the movie They Live.
It's Rowdy Roddy Piper in his acting debut and final film.
Is he dead or something?
No, he was alive a couple years ago. He lived in Oregon, and actually looks like himself. Like he's still cool dude.
Okay, let's see. I bet that would be a decent way to make that stuff. By use bourbon barrels, refill them with water and wait. Yeah, it could be. Jack says, "What I really wanted to try is the Whistle Pig Devil's Slide. They distilled, then undistilled the juice. Then they did it for dry January this year. It sold out so quick." Interesting. So wow. Whistle Pig has that's a non-alcoholic one, I'm assuming.
But it sounds like maybe that's closer to actual whiskey.
Yeah.
As opposed to just mixing up some flavors to try to get a similar flavor.
OG says they had one guy on the R&D team who suggested it must have the heat. And then he says he'll go back and rewatch the ads. Love it. Hangin' AZ is in the house. What's up, Hangin'? He says, "Congrats on 1,000K, boys," or 1K, boys. Troy and Lisa Toole are back. Cheers, guys. Congrats on 1,000. We're sipping Eagle Rare.
Eagle Rare. Don't you have a paper
talking
towels?
Amongst themselves. Okay. Peter White. Roddy Piper died in 2015, I believe. Oh, wow. I was really... Sir Cuts found the BRTs at 1010 Spirits, 1010 Washington. Michael Muller, you guys rock. Well, hey, thank you very much. We try. And Hagen says might need to crack an Eagle Rare. Well, do it.
Well, I just had a pour of the old Stranahan Blue Peak. Now, this is a single malt from Colorado.
Yeah, it's our 1,000 subscriber live stream, and we haven't drank a sip of bourbon yet.
Well, I wanted to step up one from, because I find single malts to be kind of it's obviously a different flavor than bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to go from non-alcoholic to Scotch. I know this is not actually Scotch, but that flavor profile. Then to a bourbon, and then to a really nice bourbon.
Okay, gotcha.
It's like Stairway to Heaven, you know?
Oh, Minnesota Waterwolf. I think that's Dan. Because
Really?
I remember him having some sort of weird name on his thing. Because he said it's the best neighbor you ever had. That's who he says. That's how he says, Ben, I used to know you.
Ah.
Really? He didn't say he used to know you, though.
He didn't.
I think it's Dan. It's got to be Dan. Because I remember he's got some weird handle on YouTube.
Huh.
Best neighbor I ever had. Well,
they were good neighbors. Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. I would say the best neighbor I ever had is my wife. She used to live 3 doors down from me, and then we ended up getting married. We met because I moved in 3 doors down. So I got to give top tier to her. So, oh, yes, that is Dan. Love the content. Gentlemen, do you have any opinions on Wheelhouse Bourbon? I've never had Wheelhouse.
I've never seen it. What is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm in a way better... I'm a way better side piece, Dan says. All right, Dan, that's enough out of you. So anyway, hey, ask us anything. It's the 1,000 subs.
1,000 subscribers.
Since Dan's in the chat, let's just drink all the best bourbons on the shelf.
He doesn't like bourbon. He's a rye guy.
I thought you were going to say something else. He doesn't like bourbon. He's a fill-in insult here.
No, I'm trying to be nice. Giving it a try.
Okay, I got to stop drinking that.
I agree.
It's an old-fashioned mix. The problem is because it's got that spicy capsaicin or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's actually leaving a burn in my mouth, and it's going to screw up the next whiskey I have. So now I got to start out.
Why do you think I'm like stepping into?
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to start out drinking something shitty.
Water.
Yeah. Water sucks. Mike Myers in the house. Cheers, all. Got to run, boys. Cheer. Okay, Dan's out of here. Sanskizzle says, cheers from my Coors Light pounder and myself to you. What's up, buddy? Okay, let's pound this water. So anyway, yeah, if you guys want to do like an Ask Us Anything or something. The only reason I bring that up because I've seen other channels do that when they do like it's our live, or 1,000 or 5,000 or whatever.
Otherwise, we're just going to sit here and talk about bourbon.
Which who in the hell would want to watch us talk about bourbon?
So what is this, by the way? This is Stranahan's.
Mm-hmm.
Any of you have any opinions of Stranahan's? I actually really like them. This is their Solera finished.
I thought it was, isn't it? I thought it was Solera.
No,
yeah, that's
Solera.
An E. It does kind of look like a B. If I didn't know the word Solera already, I probably would have said the same thing.
And that's that one where it goes from barrel to barrel to barrel to barrel, right?
Who is your first subscriber? My brother-in-law, Kyle.
We don't. That's probably true because he when we set up the channel, like he said that right away. You're whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't actually. I don't think we can see that technically.
You can see it if the person has it turned on that's public. You can have that private so channels don't know. Oh, we got a super chat.
Super chat. Thank you so much.
Faith Dimmer. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay, gentlemen, it's 5 p.m. after work at your local bartender is buying you a shot. What are you picking? Keep it to the selection at your local. So clarify one thing. Do I have to take this as a shot? Because if it's something I have to shoot, I'm going shitty whiskey, low proof, tastes like water. But if it's something that's available at the local bar
and sip neat,
and I can sip neat. So Faith Dimmer, let us know what sip if you want. Okay,
great.
And then we'll get to. I've been looking at. Yeah, who's yours? Isaiah 5 says top 5 whiskeys of the year. That's a tough one, so we'll get to that. I would say at my local bar, Jay's Down Under has Calumet 16, and I had a pour that last time I was down there, and it's really, I don't have a bottle myself. I do know where I can find one. I just haven't ponied up the 120 or 150, but it's a fantastic whiskey for sure.
My wife actually saw one the other day, and I told her no.
Like it's really good.
Yeah.
So top 5.
Well, I would.
What are the steps to become a Patreon? Just go to Patreon. There should be a link in our channel description, and then you just go sign up. Local bar, Sir Cut says, has Calumet 16 and Blanton's. So top 5 whiskeys of the year.
Boy, that would be hard.
Yeah, because we didn't do a top 5 whiskeys of the year last year.
We did kind of. Well, I don't remember. We probably will around Christmas, maybe between Christmas and New Year's, like a wrap up of the year kind of video.
So this could maybe be top 5 whiskeys that we've had this year.
Cool. Yeah.
Like I got this Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. This came out last year, but I didn't get a hold of it until right around Christmas.
Yep.
I think we did a review of it in January.
Mm-hmm.
So technically we had this year for the first time.
And it's exceptional.
Amazing. Yeah. So that would be one of mine.
But it's a unicorn.
As far as because I always take top 5 whiskeys of the year to be like limited releases or new releases. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, we haven't had a ton. The Remus 5, but that was from last year, but that was new to us this year because some of these things we get late. So I would say that. What do you think?
We like the Remus 4. So we had the 3, 4, 5. So the 4 is the one we liked a lot.
Yeah, but we liked all of those, but those are even from a couple years ago. So I'm trying to think if we had, to be honest, usually we would throw the Elijah Craig barrel proofs in there, but they just haven't been that great this year. They're great, but they're not
unique. You know what? You know, as a surprise that we really, really liked.
Here we go.
And it's inexpensive, and I think available at most places except for Minnesota.
This is definitely in the top 5. This is a Elijah Craig private barrel, 9-year, 136.2 proof.
And I've not had that one yet.
You had a little bit of this one night. Yeah,
I don't remember.
This is the one that tastes like barbecue-y. It's exceptional. So you can have this if you'd like
later
as well.
Tonight. But Jim Beam single barrel, the new 108 proof one.
Yes, that was another one that we absolutely loved. Yeah.
Inexpensive, should be available most places.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, I like that stuff a lot. The stuff you can actually find.
Yep.
Something like the Elijah Craig that's unique is awesome, but $80 and hard to find.
Yeah, so maybe that 5 of the year in the sense of limited releases that are specific to this year, but from what we've had, we've had. I'm trying to think. I know there's been a couple of them that we've just absolutely.
Remember that Yellowstone? We kind of like that one.
Yeah, that was good.
Proof.
Yeah,
it was several years old, but it had been sitting on the shelf.
Yeah, we've had it's hard to go back and try to think because we review a lot of the bourbon.
Unfortunately, we do 3 videos a week.
I mean, fortunately, I would say.
Well, yeah, but it's hard to remember individual.
What were the first whiskey hunting hauls that got you really excited?
So we live, I don't want to go into too much detail, but we do live really close to someone who manages a liquor store. Mm-hmm. And years ago, before you lived here, he and I hung out a lot more than we do now.
And before the bourbon boom.
And it was before the bourbon boom.
Yeah, it wasn't really what it is now.
He sent me a text and said, hey, I have...
What's up, Major? He says hi.
Lot B, the Van Winkle Lot B, and the old Rip Van Winkle.
Yeah, you can grab it if you want.
This one. And he said he wanted $100 for both of them. And so I got those, and those were probably my 3rd and 4th bottles. Maybe 5th. Like I had a Maker's Mark and something else.
I don't know if I ever really got a hold of like a haul, like going out and getting a bunch of stuff. Like when I first got into it, like I didn't know what Blanton's was until I was visiting in-laws out in Baltimore area. And they just gave me a bottle because there was a local liquor store that had it for MSRP, and I think they just didn't know what it was.
Oh, wow.
So they always had Blanton's on the shelf.
That's awesome.
And my brother-in-law knew that a lot of people liked it, so he would just buy bottles of it whenever they had it. And so they sent me home with a bottle. Then I kind of learned about it. I was like, oh, I've got one of these cool horse bottles.
Horsey bottle.
And then like the first time I ever got on a list for something was a liquor store. I got some Eagle Rare. I was pretty excited about that. Again, fairly new to bourbon at this point, but I got into it a little later when all of that stuff was already starting to get
hard to find.
Yeah, like I'd go in and ask, like, hey, do you have Weller 12 and Weller whatever? Because I want to make a poor man's Pappy, having no idea those were like super hard to find bottles.
Yeah, sorry, we just ran out.
Yeah, exactly.
If you go from the non-alcoholic whiskeys that we had, and then you go to something like this, it's a bad choice. I need to go the other direction.
Like cask strength.
Well, at least solid. Like I'm
taking some Ancient Age 90 here just to rinse my mouth out a little bit.
Okay, maybe I'll have a small pour of that, but I feel like I need like a real.
Yeah, I need something to clear the palate from that other stuff. So anyway, ask us anything. Going to a Friendsgiving this weekend. What 2 bottles should I bring?
Is that a thing? For the first time in my life today, I heard the word Friendsgiving, and we're going to a Friendsgiving in 2 weeks or whatever.
I would say it depends on, like, are there going to be a bunch of people that are super into bourbon?
No.
Are they? No, I'm talking to the bakery.
The bakery. That's kind of a cool name.
Yeah, that used to be the name of my friend's car in high school. We called it the bakery. For various reasons. Anyway, let us know what what kind of friends are they? Are they bourbon enthusiasts where you want to bring something cool? Or are they maybe people like friends? Because like doing this channel and being collectors, you have friends over and stuff. People kind of do tend to get interested in it, at least, and they're like, "Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't really know there was bourbon was a thing." And then so they're interested. So you want to bring that group of friends something that's not going to, bring the Coy Hill. So
let
us know what kind of
Thanksgiving tends to have a particular set of like foods.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some bourbons? Let's say available, not too expensive, that kind of match up.
It's almost like if we would have done a list of our top 5 fall bourbons, what would those be?
Well, yeah, we've done that list, but
we did do that list.
But people are here, and you now have the opportunity to type in and tell us what you think. Like, what is the best bourbon to drink with pumpkin pie?
Levi White says tells the bakery rare breed and a George Remus store pick if you can get one. Good choices.
Rare breed.
The guys like bourbon, the wives not so much.
Story of life.
I would say if they like bourbon, maybe you could bring, if you want to bring 2 bottles, I would say either bring 2 bottles, each having a different sort of flavor profile, like
I'm really leaning toward a wheater.
Yeah, so do like a wheater, like a Maker's Mark, like maybe a Maker's 46, and then maybe like an Old Forester expression. Or you could do something that's maybe a lower proof and then a higher proof version of kind of the same thing. Like, if you brought, you just mentioned that Jim Beam single barrel at 108 proof, bring like a regular Jim Beam and like this is what
extra age and extra proof
does to it. Yeah. If they're looking to learn, if you want to just kick back and have a handful of bourbons that are good, then you don't have to go expensive for that. Wild Turkey 101 is fantastic, but if you want to get something lower proof,
even Evan Williams,
always recommend Evan Williams 1783. Yeah. Just as a cheap one to bring, you can kill the whole bottle. It doesn't really matter, but it's not off-putting, but it's not overwhelming either. And it's not, so yeah, lots of options there.
And if they
I was thinking Redwood, Lost Monarch, and Woodford Double Oak. Those are good options. I wasn't the world's biggest fan of the Lost Monarch.
That's a butterfly, right?
It's a burr rye, so it's a blend. But yeah, that would definitely be like a double oak versus that are 2 way different flavor profiles.
Yep.
So that would be interesting.
I used to love that, but we ran out of that bottle like 2 years ago and haven't bought another one yet. Too many bottles to buy.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Sir Cut says, people who I know who drink but aren't necessarily whiskey people have loved the rare breed when I've shared it.
Totally agree.
If they can handle the proof, rare breed is, you can't go wrong with it.
It is a little bit higher rye. And so a good like Maker's 46 or maybe even like Maker's Cask Strength, which maybe price-wise it's get up there a bit, but
Maker's 46 Cask Strength. I need to get another bottle of that.
That's hard to find. That one's
it's getting easier actually.
Really?
Yeah, it showed up for quite a while. I think it comes in waves, like it's batches. Sand Skizzle says, just subscribe to the $7 monthly tier, you boys. Spend that $3.50 each a month wisely. Hey, Ryan, thank you very, very much, man. That's really nice. You appreciate it. So we actually have some random stuff that we, sometimes send out to our Patreon folks. We just started making these. They're bourbon note coasters. So yeah, those are kind of cool. We've got some bourbon note rocks glasses we've sent out. Sometimes we'll send out some samples and things like that. And each tier comes with something after like a couple months or whatever. We got to get that straightened out a little more. But how about the Rebel cask strength? I've not had that.
Rebel Yell? Is that what
well, it used to be Rebel Yell. Now I think they just go with Rebel. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever bought that. That's a Lux Row distillery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have not had that one. Okay. I'm going to rinse my glass here and get into a real whiskey.
A real whiskey.
I feel like this has properly taken the flavor of the non-alcoholic bourbon alternative.
For those just joining us, I'm curious about those non-alcoholic whiskeys. A mistake. I apologize in advance, or in whatever the opposite of advance is, now that we've already done it. But yeah, it was a good idea that was not a good idea.
I like the old-fashioned, man. I got to tell you, so like my father-in-law, he comes over for the holidays. He doesn't drink anymore.
There probably is,
but he always used to appreciate a nice whiskey cocktail, but he's just on diet, stuff like that, so he's just not drinking. I think he would actually probably like that. Well, I think that would be a good.
I'm pleased to donate a bottle of non-alcoholic juice to your bar.
Honestly, I would take it if you're just going to get rid of it. Yeah, I really think that.
I don't think I love them.
Yeah. I prefer the Rebel cask strength instead of Maker's Mark cask. Yeah, because Rebel is a weeder.
Seriously. Mm-hmm. So Lux Row, we had that Davies County. They had a 100 proof rye mash bill and then a weeder mash bill, and we actually blended them together and loved them.
We did?
Yeah, because we found them like on sale at Cashwise, and I went and bought 2 bottles.
Davies County?
There's a black bottle and a white bottle, and you bought them. They were on sale. Davies County. Davies Reserve.
No. That was the
David Nichols.
David Nicholson.
Yeah.
Or Nichols.
Or whatever it was. Yeah, you're right.
There is a Davies County.
You're right. There is. That's a different one.
Okay, let's see. Michael Muller says Knob Creek single barrel store pick. Absolutely. You just cannot go wrong with those. And this is a good time to drop this in because it seems like there's some Minnesota folks in the chat. So speaking of...
So what's the next bottle while you tell this story? Because it's pretty amazing.
I don't know. Pick something good. Grab the Coy Hill?
Let's do the bonded first. Well, I mean...
I don't know. I'm looking for something special here.
Special?
Yeah. Well, let's do a little bit of that, and then we'll do, because just to get ourselves into the Jack Daniels profile.
Okay.
That.
Small pours.
If you live in Minnesota,
yes,
there's a group on Facebook called the Wright County Whiskey Club. They are now a registered 501c3.
Nonprofit charity kind of thing.
Yep, and so they do barrel picks, and if you follow the group on Facebook, I think there's a few hundred people in there. I think they just did a video for like 400 people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so they do barrel picks. They did like this.
We're about to do a review of it, so it's unopened.
Stellum Drambo, which is freaking awesome. This is a Stellum store pick. Yeah. That's Wright County Whiskey Club. They've done a whole bunch of them. They've got an Old Elk barrel coming. And they just recently did a Knob Creek single barrel, which is available now.
Yep. So we're going to go pick up our bottles.
And so if you're in the Whiskey Club, you get first access to that, I think. They'll email out and you just send back, I want a bottle, and you buy it at, whatever the store that they do it through is retail.
Yeah.
And so this Christmas they're doing, because they are a registered 501c3 charity, they're doing a rare whiskey raffle. And so they have a goal of $10,000 they want to raise. And people are donating bottles left and right.
They have a reason. They're not just raising money. They have a specific charity.
Is it Toys for Tots? I should have looked at
I forget all the details before. But
yeah, and so all the proceeds are all going to charity. People are donating bottles. Yep. If you want to donate a rare bottle, you can do that, and it's worth X amount of raffle tickets. If you just want to throw in $10, and maybe you'll win. Like he sent me a message today. He just got an Old Fitzgerald decanter bottle.
Yep.
And an Elijah Craig 18-year. There's some Blantons in there. There's Weller 12. There's There's just a ton of bottles. Like he's posting new bottles every day that are all part of the whiskey club. So the bottle pool is getting bigger and bigger. So your chances of winning are getting bigger and bigger.
Yes.
And so, yeah, please check that out. If you do live in Minnesota, go to Facebook, go to Wright County Whiskey Club, join the club. And then they also do tastings too, where you just pay $30 and then everybody gets together, $30 just to cover the cost of everything.
Yeah.
And it's a flight of, whatever that flight is. And it's a great time to just get together and meet people.
Totally,
it's just like 30 dudes hanging out, drinking whiskey, smoking cigars. I mean,
it's just a good evening.
Who in the chat doesn't want to do that?
Exactly. In fact, we're probably going to have Tim from the club on fairly soon.
Yeah.
And probably on the live stream and let him talk about the club.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do a review of the two picks that they've done.
Yeah.
At least the
Stellum one.
Stellum
for sure.
one.
Yeah.
Maybe the Knob Creek.
Okay, so Sir Cut, speaking of Lux Row, there was a bottle of Old Ezra 7 that I found on its way to my bag with those BRTs. Nice. That's awesome. That's good stuff. We did a review of that, the Old Ezra 7. That's good.
Really, really like Lux Row stuff.
Yeah, me too. Major G says Knob Creek single barrel store pick is always a good drinker for sure. Sarah K says hi. Stinky, what's up?
I don't know this person.
I know these people.
That's okay.
So when we get Ryan his Patreon swag, I'll just run it over to his house.
Oh,
we don't have to ship it.
Oh, so he's close?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, definitely go check that out because it's a great. There's so many bottles you can win.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
God, I've heard so many mixed reviews about this. I really like this.
I like this a ton. It has a really good, solid, like, in-your-face flavor, but it's not too much. You know what I mean? It's just bold.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a nice drink.
Deep, rich, solid flavors. Very rich, caramely.
I drank that fast because I'm excited because
he's going high.
I haven't had the
high and to the right with the proof.
Coy Hill in quite a while. And it's honest to God, it's one of the best whiskeys I've ever had, if not the best whiskey.
I totally agree. I mean, yes, it's expensive and hard to find, but
impossible to find. But if you ever get a chance to have, let's just bring it out here.
All right.
So this is a good special occasion, 1,000 subscriber celebration pour.
So this is the unicorn that is really hard to find. They do sell one that is just a step down from this that are called
single barrel proof.
They look like this. You have two of them there.
Yep.
I have a couple as well.
These are about $70.
Yep.
I think this one probably is at retail. I paid $100 for it.
Yeah, this is probably a $100 one. About $70. You see them around. I actually have some of these in the 375 as well. So always look on the 375 shelves.
Yeah, for sure.
They're so great. And they tend to be in the 130 proof, where this is in the 140s sometimes.
So this is 9 years, 141.5 proof.
Yeah.
And it's freaking outstanding.
So true story, is it 140 or is it 150 when you're not legally allowed to take it on
140.
an airplane? So
this is...
You're not legally allowed to take this on an airplane.
Yeah, you can't transport this via commercial airline.
That's...
Because it's considered hazardous material.
So when we did our review of this... did we both wear the hazmat suits? Yes. Mm-hmm. We wore the yellow hazmat suit.
So Levi White says, when I first tried the JD Bonded, I got nothing but peanuts. It is a very nutty forward. Since then it's opened up and very nice. Yeah, I like it. So I made a short when we first hit 1,000, which was just about a week and a half ago.
It seems like... so long ago, but also like it's just like yesterday.
And I said I was going to have a little celebratory pour, but the real celebratory pour was going to be when you and I could have one together. So cheers, Greg, to 1,000. Here's to 1,000
Thank you
more.
for the support.
Thank you all.
It's like drinking lead. It's so thick and dense.
It is. That's the thickest whiskey I think I've ever had. It's so good. Sir Cut says cheers and congrats. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is awesome. I love doing these live streams because I love it when I'm starting to recognize people in here.
Yeah,
you know
totally.
What I mean?
This is like a new hangout.
And then when they comment on a video or something like that, it's like, oh yeah.
When we were talking about doing the channel, you had used the phrase a couple times that you wanted to join the conversation.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is kind of what we were intending when we said that.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
We want to like find a group of people who want to hang out, and we're going to be doing Wednesdays, pretty regularly, probably not every week. Because
I think next Wednesday we can't do a live
I travel
stream,
next week, but
yeah. So we'll release a video for next Wednesday.
And it's an awesome video. Stay tuned for that one. It's pretty freaking amazing.
Yeah. This is seriously one of the best whiskeys I've ever had in my life.
Totally agree.
Problem is,
it's not an infinite bottle.
Well, yeah, that's the number one problem. When you pour just this much of it, an ounce or whatever, it's 141.5. So you don't need a
big pour.
A big pour. But then if you want to have a pour of something else just for longevity of
then you go to
drinking.
Benchmark.
Yeah, exactly. We should do that. Let's drink Ancient Age next.
Okay.
Just to see what happens. We're going to go from 104. Anybody who just joins the live right now and sees these two bottles next to each other.
No. So
what in God's name is going on
then
here?
Grab the Kentucky 74.
Okay. Perfect.
The worst lineup in history of.
At this point, we're just doing whatever we can. So anyway, yeah, keep the Ask Us Anything going if you have any questions. Anything you want. Well, anything within reason.
That gets through the censors.
I mean, if you want pictures of Greg's feet, that's perfectly within reason. We'll get those sent out. Got to join Patreon for that. We put Greg's feet behind a paywall.
So I've heard several comments that we need to make more Melanie Griffith references.
Really?
Yeah, evidently that was a hit.
There's nothing wrong with Melanie Griffith.
No, not at all. But our reference to Melanie Griffith evidently was funny.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad people enjoyed that. So getting back to what you were saying before, like when we started this channel, about my reason for wanting to start a bourbon channel was like I got to know and learn about bourbon through watching other people's channels, and I just found it really entertaining just listening to people talk about whiskey, because it's something that I started getting really passionate about. And
totally.
But on the join the conversation part of it, what's fun now is how I was just saying I'm starting to recognize people in that are in our chat regularly. But like when I'm watching other channels now that are doing live streams, I'm recognizing people like I'm in the chat, and then people that are here are also in the chat.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think I saw Hanging AZ in It's Bourbon Night chat when I actually said hi. I mean, their chats go by so fast.
Sure.
I'm not sure if anybody saw it, but if I'm watching, Bobby or Sean, like we're all kind of in this same ecosystem of like this new.
We're like the baby bourbon channels, where there's the huge channels with tons of subscribers, and they're awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
Then there's this next tier, and we're gratefully, all the support from the fans.
And
this, like having fun.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's like I'll see, just like turn on Bobby's live stream. There's Sean from Whiskey Wars, or there's Steven from Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans,
or Ron, or
And so I kind of like this new kind of crop of bourbon channels that kind of has its own little ecosystem I'm starting to see. And even if we haven't, like I joined Sean's live stream one night, and we've been meaning to get a live stream together with Bobby and Sean, and but yeah, just kind of being in the same, like I said, ecosystem is really cool, because you start to see the same people, and it's almost like you get to know people a little bit. And so that's been really fun.
All right, so let me ask you a question now. And I realize that
one thing real quick, Sir Cuts is wondering where the OnlyFans link is. That's where the feet pics are going to go. The OnlyFans link. Levi White says, do you guys have an infinity bottle? I do not, but that's something I've always meant to do. But if you watch our videos regularly and you watch them to the end, if we have more than one bourbon, except for this I will not blend Ancient Age with Coy Hill. But we usually do a blend, so we are into blending bourbons, because we always blend whatever's on the bar.
Benny Walker special.
Yeah. I do have, what I have? I should show you, because I've been meaning to bring this up to you, Greg.
Oh, do you have that blend from like a year ago?
Yeah. So like over a year ago, Greg approached me with an idea.
We had an idea that we never finished the video. I had an idea.
Yeah. So he approached me with an idea.
I bought a bottle.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he's like, we'll each pick 2 bourbons.
Yes.
Was it 2 or whatever kind of blend? Create your own blend of bourbon.
Well, no, but it was from one company, like Benchmark and Buffalo Trace, or you know what I mean? Like,
is that what it was?
So
that's what mine ended up being. But I thought it was like, how do you take a bourbon you don't particularly like and make it better?
Yes. But we said don't mix a Jack Daniels and an Old Forester because they're different companies.
Okay.
Well, you know, yes, umbrella company, but like, how could Buffalo Trace make Benchmark better? And if they did like 10% Eagle Rare and 20% Buffalo Trace in with the rest, do the math.
Sure. So I made the blend, and it's been sitting here crying all by itself under my bar for like a year now.
Yeah, I made a blend as well, but we never finished.
Are we ever going to do that video, or should I just tell you what this is?
Well, you already told me.
Did I?
Buffalo Trace and Benchmark.
No.
Oh, no, I think you did tell me.
So I made it's just a 50-50 Basil Hayden.
That's right.
And Old Grandad 114. Which actually had like a lot of flavor, but not quite as much burn as the 114. So if you're not looking for the burn, it might be a good alternative. It made the Basil Hayden better, but it made the 114 worse. So,
well, that's what a blend does.
Yeah, it's really just. So there's that. Major G, let's get twisted on a Wednesday, high proof and big pours. Well, I don't have big pours of this. This might have to be a Wednesday when we have Thursday off, but I do like the way you think. That sounds like a lot of fun. Let me finish that phrase of longevity. It's called happy floatiness. Oh, I like that. If you're just drinking for happy floatiness.
Happy floatiness. I don't think I've ever seen that phrase.
So hold on a second here. Well, I'm just going to use the same glass.
It'll improve whatever you pour into it.
I was just going to say, yeah, because now I am interested. We're going to go from 141.5 proof to 80 proof.
One more sip, then I will.
Never mind. Old part of your conversation. I know what you're talking about when you're drinking for longevity, so you don't want to have too big of a pour of this. But then the problem is, you can't drink anything after it because...
Well, we're about to find out.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the secret. You go with something, a banger, and 125, 130 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go to the 80 proof, and it brings out all kinds of nuance that you totally miss if you go from nothing to 80.
God, that is just so freaking good. I can't even handle it.
It's genuinely good.
It's one of the best. But if you can't find this, definitely get one of those single barrel proofs. They're excellent. Those can be hard to find, but they are available in Minnesota. I
will admit, it's so rich and so dense and everything. Like, it's not the kind of thing you would want to sip on all night.
This?
Like, it's got great flavor, like exceptional flavor.
Yeah.
But it's obviously like a sledgehammer.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I guess, like, you could slam it, but that would be just dumb.
So good.
Yeah. All right. I'm about to see what going from...
You know what? I can't use the same glass because that wouldn't make sense.
It's going to improve the ancient age.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not looking to improve the ancient age. I wanted to see if it stands on its own, which I'm not expecting it to, obviously, but...
Corn notes.
Okay. Dropping off from 141.5 to 80 proof.
Call
9 years.
The Greg Louganis off the high dive.
Dropping off the high dive. I'm going to save one sip of the Coy Hill to go back to after this.
That's good thinking.
You can pour another sip if you want as well. Oh, God, there's just nothing there. Just nothing at all. If you just joined the chat, we just had a pour of this Jack Daniels Coy Hill at 141.5 proof.
And we want to see what it's like to go down in proof.
To 80.
Yeah, to 80.
Because when you're an hour into your live stream, this is the stuff you start doing. Oh. God, it doesn't even smell like ancient age. It doesn't even smell like bourbon.
I get a little bit.
It almost smells more like appley and fruity and florally.
It's weird because we did that Penelope flight where we kind of went up in proof and then went back down. And then got apple at the end.
Sorry. This tastes almost exactly like that Spiritless Kentucky 74 now. Hang on.
No, this is tolerable. It's not great. I'm not going to pretend it's exceptional or anything like that. But it's...
Now we are bringing this back. We started this live stream out trying non-alcoholic bourbon alternatives.
We did a review of 2 non-alcoholics because we really wanted to give them a try. Not a fan, in summary. But
Holy shit. You have to try this. Do the Ancient Age and this next to each other. That Ancient Age barely has a bite. Now back to the Coy Hill to cleanse my palate.
I really, really, really wanted to never try this again in my life. I can't believe I'm doing this.
Well, you know,
I'm getting
do it for the internet, Greg.
There's a smell.
Wolfie says from whiskey to water. Yeah, pretty much.
So no, it's worse than water.
And this is essentially flavored water, right?
It is. And I didn't mention this when we did the actual review of it, because I don't know how to actually close the thought.
But you got to go back and forth.
I will. I'm getting something that reminds me of the dentist. Some sort of smell.
I was just going to make this the most inappropriate.
Yeah, just leave it alone. But there is a smell. I think it's on the smell.
It's got a fluoride-y sort of.
There you go. It's in that range.
Well, remember when I said bubble gum?
Yeah.
That reminds me of because I used to just get bubble gum fluoride when I go to the dentist. And I totally see what you're saying.
Yeah, there's some sort of you're sitting in a chair and it's all
There's
kinds
a strange man standing above you. Your mouth is open. And when you leave there, you're sore and you don't want to go back. It's just gone off the rails. Saying Skizzle, finding your happy float of the evening would be a proper conversational context. Trademark Ryan Frank. Perfect. Dirty water, Sir Cuts.
No, there's when you at the end, I don't know how to describe this exactly. They give you the little stupid paper cup and you rinse your mouth with this fluoride solution. It tastes like this. There's a minty, weird.
I get more of the bubble gummy.
Yeah, it's just
so now taste it next. So you just had a sip of this.
Yes.
Now taste the benchmark. It's not a huge improvement.
It's 1,000 times better.
Really? I'm not even.
I love this so much. I'm gonna invent a YouTube channel just to follow all things bourbon. Oh, wait, I have. I hate this so much. I'm gonna invent a new YouTube channel talking about how much I hate.
My point is this barely has a bite, even compared to that.
Agreed.
And maybe because we start out with 141 points.
Yes, this is not bitey, but we never think it's bitey.
Now it's Ancient Age in Kentucky Spiritless 74.
I honestly don't know which one's which. I think this is Kentucky Spirit. Yeah, it smells like a freaking dentist.
And you mean Kentucky Spiritless?
Spiritless. Oh, Kentucky Pure. That's the
Pure Kentucky?
Pure Kentucky. That's
there's Kentucky Spirit, there's Pure Kentucky, and there's Spiritless Kentucky 74. Okay, let's do one more quick palate cleanser here. If you guys have any more Ask Us Anything questions, we're going to sign off pretty quick.
Yes.
Anything you'd like to know about us or the channel or whatever. All right, what are we having?
I need anything. Can I do this Broken Barrel?
Yeah, do whatever you want.
This is a decent one. This is Broken Barrel.
I feel like that's going to taste a little odd after these last ones. Because this one's good and I really like it, but it's different. So yeah, let's give that one a shot. I'll have some of that too.
Sure.
Yeah, at some point I got to kill that bottle anyway. Out with the old, in with the new. We've had we've done a review of the Broken Barrel cask strength. It's good, but I think it's maybe not for everybody.
Mm-hmm. So this one has a mash bill and
Ryan
an
says
oak bill.
Your wives have your car keys, right? Well, luckily I live directly up there, and he lives directly across the street. Wait, which way? Yeah, that way.
Which way?
Well, I was trying to figure out which way. We're in the basement. There's no windows.
So literally, our houses face each other, and you can drive from my driveway to his driveway and touch a city street for 20 feet.
I think it's exactly 30 feet from driveway to driveway.
Oh, yeah, because you're a walker.
Hey-o.
I actually finished that joke before I got it.
Unintended humor.
The best.
Oh, yeah, that tastes a little weird.
A little bit like Melanie Griffith.
Honestly, it does. I mean, I don't know what Melanie Griffith tastes like, and I'm not going to. I mean,
We'll just leave it alone.
I'm a kid from the 80s. chocolatey on the nose, but the palate is almost, it's a little weird after having those other ones.
Wow. Very chocolatey. Almost like peanut, though. Almost like a chocolate peanut butter kind of thing.
But I mean, oh, Sean's here. What's up, Sean? Sean from Whiskey Wars. If you haven't subscribed to him, go check him out. Cheers, Sean. We're actually just about to wrap things up. We have done just an absolute smorgasbord of...
We've had a blend of non-alcoholic drinks.
Yep.
Low proof, high proof, low proof, non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
And now we're going back high proof.
We started out with a review of non-alcoholic bourbon alternatives, and then we ended up drinking some Jack Daniel's Coy Hill at 141 proof. Then we compared that to Ancient Age at 80 proof just to see what happens.
We've also talked about where we live, Melanie Griffith, and your high school friends. Or he didn't say.
Well, no, that ended up being Dan.
Oh.
I thought it was going to be much more exciting than that. Says everyone about Dan. Sean says, and cheers to all you beautiful whiskey people, for sure.
Dude.
Sean, if you're going live this weekend on Friday, maybe we could hop in. We're planning on possibly doing a live stream on Friday too, but that would probably be before yours. So maybe at some point,
yeah,
we could hop on there because we've been meaning to do that.
Definitely.
So if anybody else wants to throw a little Ask Us Anything in there real quick before we head out here.
Call it a night.
Again, if you want to ask Greg for pictures of his feet.
It's a third tier on Patreon.
It's the $3 tier or the third tier?
So what? Third tier. I don't know.
What
I don't know numbers.
Monetary amount would that be?
$74,000 a month.
$74,000 a month. Sir Cut says, "Let's do it. I knew I took Saturday off for a reason." Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. We're trying to work some stuff out. Whiskey Wars says, "Hey, yeah, that sounds great. I can't drink whiskey for a while, so I need people to chat with." Well, you know what, Sean?
You should watch our review. We filmed like an hour ago.
Yeah.
It's not posted yet, but it will be soon.
We just did a review of these two non-alcoholic bourbon alternatives. They're terrible neat, but this one, there's no reason for that. This Monday one actually made a pretty good old-fashioned.
You could convince a blind, tasteless person that it tastes okay.
A blind, tasteless person? So is that a person who's blind and can't taste things? Or is it a person who's blind and their interior decoration is shit and they just have no taste whatsoever? Like,
I will leave that to your own imagination.
Just lots of leopard print.
Leopard print,
fake plants.
Cyndi Lauper posters.
Yeah. And like a little fountain.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to describe like every living room I was in the 80s.
Oh, so no, the black velvet with the tiger.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Dogs playing poker. I mean,
and the Elvis plates.
Now we're starting to come back around. I mean, the dog playing poker is pretty gangster. I don't know why I don't have dogs playing poker in this bar somewhere.
Yeah, you totally should. You like dogs. You like poker.
Yeah, for sure.
You like velvet.
A blind, tasteless person. I'm convinced.
You are a
mismatched socks. Yeah, see, I think they all went with me on the blind. They're blind, but they also just have no taste whatsoever. Can they smell?
Well, of course.
Okay. Everybody can smell, right?
Except for Melanie Griffith.
Is that when people who just come in like, midway through and hear a comment like that, like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You got to watch 100% of our content in order to get that joke.
Ends up doing drugs as a youth and drinking heavy, maybe catching up to me. Well, I hope you're okay.
Yeah, that's right.
I may have been on a similar path, and so I don't know if we're the same age or if you're older or younger than me, but do I have this to look forward to as well? For real, I hope you're doing okay, man. I hope that's not like a serious, malady or something like that. How can you smell but not taste?
If you want to get all philosophical, I mean, honestly.
I think you can probably smell but not be able to taste. You can
smell with your fingers.
Because
with Braille.
Oh, God, I was going to say, if you bring this back around to Melanie Griffith again, we're getting sued.
You're the one that did that, not me. I went Braille.
Wolfie says, a blind, tasteless person sounds like a bland person. He wins the chat.
That's pretty awesome.
He wins the chat for sure. That was like a Greg joke right off the bat, right there. Great channel. Let's see. I have to say thanks for the almost instant chat rebuttals. It makes it some good fun. Thank you, boys. Well, you're welcome, brother. I'm curious about this Melanie Griffith nonsense now. Greg said something. We were talking about something smelling like melon.
No. So we were doing a review. It was in the what was it? The Lock, Stock, and Barrel review that we just maybe about a week ago did. And you said you're getting kind of like a melony kind of flavor.
Oh yeah, I said I was getting a Melanie. And you said, are there any famous Melanies in it?
And I'm like, I can't give any famous Melanies. And you're like, Melanie Griffith.
Yeah.
Because
and then it took everything in my power to not make a filthy taste joke.
Yeah. So a little bit later, like we were talking about, okay, so this tastes like, it's oaky and vanilla and it smells like Melanie Griffith. And then he said, I'm not going to say anything. And I said, I appreciate your restraint. And that's where we kind of left it. But
yeah, we left it alone at that point. But now
it turned out it was kind of funny the way we handled it. And several people have made comments to me that it was kind of funny because we didn't say the obvious joke.
And if something's even remotely funny or well received on this channel, we will beat it into the ground.
That's right.
Until you hate it. That's how we work. See, Whisker, yes, I was just watching that a couple days ago. Yeah, that was a pretty good one.
The truth is, I think, is that the
I remember because Sean, you had commented about the influence of the high rye MGP.
So that video, I have to admit, we started the review and it felt like it just wasn't, you said something and I said something and it just wasn't going the right direction. We actually stopped it and started over.
Yes, I do remember that
and I don't remember.
I remember what it was.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what it was.
We wanted to cut something out. It was kind of clunky from the beginning, the way we did the intro.
Yeah.
We stepped over each other and then said something where it's like, let's cut that out.
Yeah, and so we started over.
But we left the Melanie Griffith reference
Well, that was once we were actually up and into it. But so I was actually kind of worried, thinking this may be a bad review. And so I watched it and thought, you know what? I actually kind of like it. Like it came out better than I thought. And there's the funny parts, but the rest of the review I actually was proud of.
I kind of find that with some of our reviews where it's like, some of them are just like, I don't know if that turned out or not, but whatever. And the thing is too, is we really don't edit our reviews for the most part. Right. Every once in a while I'll cut. If something just goes long and we get too far off and it's like, I'm watching, it's like, okay, we're going to lose them.
So basically the last 42 minutes of this video.
Yeah, exactly. But for the most part, if you watch our videos, there's really not cuts in them for the, because a lot of videos do like jump cuts as they're talking. And those are great. I actually like that because it really kind of gets more to the point and gets into it. But honestly, it's just pure laziness as to why we don't do that. Why I don't edit like that, because it would just take way too long.
Uno más?
I suppose one more small pour.
Imagine you're sitting in a rocking chair and Mike Myers pours gasoline on the rocking chair.
Mike Meyer.
It's the same person.
From the chat here and from Patreon?
It's the same person.
Or Mike, there's Mike Meyer from Patreon and the chat, and there's Michael Myers. By the way, I did watch the new Halloween Ends movie.
Nope, you're going to do a review of this. You said you promised.
I mentioned in a review that maybe I'd drink a couple bourbons and watch that movie and give a review on it.
Well, you've had a few bourbons.
Holy jeez, do I have opinions.
So if you're you know what I didn't tell you, and I'm ashamed of this.
Is it something that you're ashamed of about yourself? Because now I'm excited. Or you're ashamed that you didn't tell me.
So we've talked about
I want to hear all about your
horror
personal
movies
shame.
A fair amount, and I don't watch horror movies.
God, I hate this cork.
Yeah, you have to it's glass and it has a rubber O-ring. I actually know a guy who was in Halloween 4.
Really? That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
But I should have told you that.
You're not going to say how you know the dude or
it doesn't matter, but
how or why.
So he dies very early in the movie.
Sean says, here's a horse. It's dead. Here's a bat. Because I said we're going to beat that into the ground, the Melanie Griffith thing. Hey, I hear you on the taking too long. Are you talking when we're that we've referenced taking too long in this video? Are you agreeing that we're taking too long in this? or when you're making videos. So this is real quick. This is a burning chair from Savage and Cook. This is a store pick, cask strength, 113 proof.
It's a blend of 3 different cask finish type.
Yeah,
things.
so it's 60% Cabernet Sauvignon finished bourbon, 30% Grenache finished bourbon, and 10% Zinfandel finished bourbon. And it's really good.
It's exceptional.
Yeah.
And every time I see it on the shelves of this one store that I know where it's sitting.
Yeah, there's still some left, but once they're gone, they're gone. $70, but it's good.
I think, I need it.
Mm-hmm.
But Leah says, no, why don't you buy this? And she always suggests ryes and not bourbons. I'm like, we have a bourbon channel, not a rye channel.
Yeah, but we do a lot of ryes.
Too many, in my opinion. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Sean is saying, yeah, editing taking way too long. Yeah, for sure. We were just joking. So I just edited our video. So tomorrow's video, which is available on Patreon
not
tonight.
Yet. I will get there, I promise.
That's why I said tonight, not right now.
Okay.
We did a flight of Penelope, and it took like a half an hour because it's 3 different individual reviews.
You know what I learned? The coincidence, and I should have made this in the video. It would have made more sense.
Which is?
Do you know who actually creates the Penelope bourbons?
Who?
Penelope's father.
Oh my Lord. Dun, dun, dun. I was just going to say, insert ominous music here. And that's the point I was getting at. We were making that video, and it's like a half hour long. And there was a couple of times where we reference like, oh, put this on the screen right here.
Oh.
And every time we do that, now I got to go back and watch the whole video before I edit it to figure out where.
Well, I always hold my hand up and say like right here. So if you're looking right here.
Ryan says, the bourbon note is great background noise that forks my attention away from what I'm trying to concentrate on. Wink. Nice.
So Ryan, true story. I've been thinking about this all day. Why don't we have a laugh track? As our editor-in-chief, why don't we have a laugh track?
When we start saying things that are funny and worthy of a laugh track, I will start putting them in there.
Cue the laugh track.
Well, this is a live stream, so I'm not editing this at all.
Of course.
So Sir Cut says, I've been looking at it. I know this store you speak of. Yeah, it's either Cashwise or Coburn's. That's the one that has this particular one.
It's the one up in Clearwater, right?
Well, all of the Coburn's
that's what I'm thinking
and or Cashwise should have. Maybe they don't all have it, but it's a store pick from them. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they like I've seen them in multiple Cashwise and Cashwise is not quite as popular, but Coburn's. And Cashwise is owned by Coburn, so they get the same store pick, same.
And if you go into the one in Clearwater and you see Chris, ask him for a hug because he likes to hug. I'm kidding. He probably is going to hate me for that, but hopefully he watches.
Yeah, good dude. Super knowledgeable about bourbon.
Yeah, loves bourbon. We're going to have him on the channel, actually. He's going to bring a store pick and
really?
Yeah, soon. Seriously.
Did you talk to him about that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, sweet.
I should probably tell you about that.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that. I have no idea what's going on what the state of this channel is. Oh, so you know of a different one with a different store pick. So which one, Sir Cuts? Which one are you talking about?
Did we determine Sir Cuts is over on the St. Paul side?
I think he said, was it South St. Paul or something like that?
I think he's like quite a ways.
Yeah,
that away.
I was just in St. Paul for the first time in forever.
My wife is going to St. Paul tomorrow to the XL.
That's where I was. I went to the Smashing Pumpkins concert.
No way.
That's where those sweet videos. Did you see those? So my cousin's company got a suite.
U.S. Bank.
No, that was at XL.
What were you watching?
Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, I thought you were at like a football game.
No, it was Smashing Pumpkins. So they had a suite that like their company just provides suites for random concerts. And she said, hey, do you want to go Smashing Pumpkins in a suite? I was like, yeah.
On what was it?
Friday.
Oh, it was a Friday.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'd never been in a suite before because not balling out of control like that.
I just thought you were at U.S. Bank.
Yeah,
because
it was awesome.
The suites look similar. Like I've never been in one, but I've seen pictures of other people.
Yeah, it was awesome. All the booze was included.
Northeast.
Oh, okay. Oh, he was thinking Haskell's.
Huh.
Major G, 90s, 80s kids laugh tracks need a place here. That's probably true. I mean, we actually did talk about that. Like every time there's even like a cheesy joke, maybe a laugh track is something we need to add to the channel.
Like a Saved by the Bell kind of laugh tracker.
Just one more thing I need to do in the editing. Like every time we come up with something cool, it's a good idea. It's like, son of a bitch. Now I gotta I got to deal with all of this.
Yeah, I apologize.
Manga Guy TV says, "What's up, team? Dude, we're an hour and 14 minutes into this, and we're just about to sign off, and now you're here." I feel bad because he's always in the live chat.
Yeah, I appreciate the
I
support.
assume I guess I don't know if it's a male or female.
Woman Magaya TV.
See, that's where the laugh track should come
Totally.
in.
Like, yeah.
I get it. Manga Guy. Yeah, see, this is the kind of comedy. Big Red Deluxe. Oh, my God.
I have no idea what that means.
What's going on, brother? Isaac is in the house. Glad to see your channel is doing so well. So Isaac, met him down in Florida.
Okay.
A couple of years ago, and became friends. And we, chat. I haven't talked to you in a while.
Was this?
But this is just
COVID trip? Or
yeah. No. This was like a year before that.
Oh.
Yeah, Isaac and Angie.
Oh.
So we met. Kai and I met them. They stayed at the same place that we did. We ended up like hanging out.
And talking bourbon or
a little bit.
It was pre-bourbon. You were just kind of like general whiskey at that point, or
no. This is when I was into bourbon. I think we had just started the channel.
Okay.
Actually, I think it was because we were down there in February, and I think it was just before the channel. We started in March. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think I had told him that we were getting ready to start up a channel. So he's got a channel called Big Red Deluxe because he's in a band. So yeah. Anyway, hey man, awesome that you're here. I'm sorry, we're actually just about to sign off because we've been doing this for like an hour.
But you should totally hit the rewind button, go back an hour and 15 minutes, and watch this whole thing.
Watch this entire shit show.
Amazing.
Yeah, this was kind of our.
We did non-alcoholic bourbons and decided they suck.
Yeah.
And then we did alcoholic bourbons, then super alcoholic bourbons,
as you can
tell.
And
then amazingly super alcoholic bourbons. And then we went back down to mediocre alcoholic bourbons.
And you can tell.
Non-alcoholic bourbons. And then we're going back to alcoholic bourbons.
Yeah. So it's been kind of a roller coaster.
The good news is I literally live straight across the street and I can get home without driving.
Yeah. He's just going to zigzag his way home after this.
Exactly.
So yeah, we're just kind of doing like a little bit of a 1,000 subscriber celebration video.
I can
we
still
hit 1,000 last week.
I can still smell this in the glass. I hate it so much. I will gift it to you for people.
I will take it because I really think that this makes a good non-alcoholic old fashioned. But yeah, no, it's trash on its own.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, let's get to some chats here before we head out. How about it? Special guests.
Near beer in Iraq for.
Who are you recommending for a special guest?
So Manga Guy TV.
Gotta get to the workout. Gotta get the workout in. Old man got to keep up with the youngins till January.
All right, Manga Guy TV. What base were you at for the majority of the time? Because we were all over the place. But
drank near beer in Iraq for 15 months. So yeah, I know the feeling. Yeah, Greg was in Afghanistan.
In Iraq.
Were you in Iraq too?
When I was in the Air Force, I was in Iraq, and then when I was as a contractor, I went to Tal Afar for a little while.
Oh, okay. I just get those mixed up. Like you've told me that story so many times, but we're always like half drunk when you tell.
It doesn't matter.
Well, and the reason you've told me it so many times because I re-ask. It's like okay, so last time we talked about this. So Sir Cut says I will still take 30 minutes for him to get home. Yeah, probably. I can watch him out the window.
So the truth
to make sure.
The truth of the matter is, as soon as I step outside of Ben's front door, literally, I have 2 dogs that will be in my window staring at me. Like watching me walk home.
Little creepers. Every time I'm out in my front yard, I look over there. They're like 2 little white ghosts in the window.
Yeah.
So, Major G, glad I'm not the only one half in the bag tonight. Cheers. All right, Major. Major's having a good night. Are You Schlammered is back.
Are You Schlammered? Like
in the chat.
Okay, so are we starting our live streams too early? Too late?
Yeah, actually, that's probably a good thing. We should
violate this space-time continuum and go back in time or forward in time, or
tomorrow's video that we're putting out has a lot of time travel.
We do talk a lot about physics and time travel. That's true.
Are You Schlammered says congratulations on your channel's milestone. Thank you very much.
So much.
Whiskey Wars. Oh shoot, almost forgot to say congratulations, you guys again, and you already did congratulate us in the chat. You guys deserve it. Cheers. Thanks, man. We really appreciate that.
Totally.
Manga Gaia says Camp Victory, Camp Taji, however you pronounce that, in Iraq, FOB Torkham in Afghanistan.
I don't know that one. I spent 5 years in Bagram, but that was a giant base.
Oh, Ryan says subscribers and other channel owners. For sure. Yeah, we should definitely do that. All right. Do you want to wrap this up?
I think it's time to call it evening. We are hammered enough.
Well,
schlammered. Maybe we're schlammered.
I think you're a little more schlammered than I am. Like, I got to catch up here.
I had an old fashioned before I got here, to be honest.
Oh,
it was a small pour.
I was going to say, was it a Greg old fashioned? No, it was like 8 ounces.
It was a very small pour because I made some new syrup, and there was a little bit too much syrup for the bottle.
Oh, so you had to.
Of course.
You had no choice.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I'm going to probably crack bourbon in the bathtub after this. So, like within the next 20 minutes, I'll catch up to you. All right. On that note, let's just crush the last of these chats here. Major G says, to all that have served, thank you a ton for putting your neck on the line for us. Cheers. Could not agree more. Thank you, and thank all of you. Ryan Frank says, for special guest, that is. Manga Gaia, congrats on the 1,000 subs. Thank you very much. Modem crapped out. Thought I lost you guys. Well, you're about to lose us, unfortunately, because we're gonna kill this live stream because it is a school night here.
So, but we will advertise
on Big Red Deluxe.
The
peace sign and the heart. That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. So on Friday nights, not every Friday night, but occasionally, like once every 7 years, or maybe a little more often than that, we do a private chat with just our Patreons, where we do a Zoom call and where we actually can see each other and just like sit and talk and like see what's going on.
Yep, good times.
If you're interested,
check out the Patreon.
Find us on the Patreon.
Night, y'all. Thanks for the good time. Sir Cut says cry. And yeah, Whiskey War says nice with a thumbs up. So yeah, and hey, Isaac, it was great seeing you show up in the chat. It's been way too long since we've texted back and forth. Hope you guys are doing well.
Cheers.
So yeah, that was an extra special kind of like little surprise for me just to see Isaac show up in the chat. So that was awesome. Night, y'all. Thanks for the good time.
Can I do it?
Okay, we're good.
Can okay. Until next time. See you next time. Broke the hour.